Welcome, Pastor Myers, Reed Myers of the Grace Place Church in Brampton. Been talking to you in the past, a few videos about religious atheism, and now I'm going to give you a little bit more, and under the topic, killing the innocent. And I just really want to be able to communicate, and hopefully that you'll start to give some consideration to the death agenda that is inherent in religious atheism. Now here in Canada, our Supreme Court has decided that they're going to hear a case as it pertains to assisted suicide or euthanasia, and it's under the title of end-of-life decisions. And you know, the people that propagate this death agenda, they just have such cuddly little language for it, you know. You know, death with dignity. And what they're really talking about is killing innocent people. We're talking about not just people killing innocent people, but we're talking about a state that has assumed it has the right to murder innocent citizens. And as I look at this, this is arrogance to the power of 10 at least. That these justices somehow think, representing the state, they have the authority to take the life of innocent citizens. Now watch that. The interesting thing is that we will abort babies by the hundreds of thousands. There's very little protection for the newborn, and now we want to move it over to the other end of life, or the people who are sick, and take the life of innocent citizens. And religious atheism has a bit of a paradox to it, it seems to me, in that religious atheism will only protect one life. Only one life will they protect. And it's not the life of the innocent. The life that religious atheism will go to all extremes to defend is the life of the murderer who has raped and been viciously attacking individuals and then deliberately take their life. And religious atheism and our courts say, oh no, you can't take the life. But we can take the life of 100,000 babies a year in this country, and now we can take it upon ourselves that somehow the state has a right to kill its innocent citizens. Recently I was listening to a radio program, and the interviewer was talking with a man who was from one of these societies that was talking about death with dignity, like Hemlock Society and that sort of thing, where, oh, no, you don't need to worry because there will be wonderful safeguards in place, because the interviewer said, well, isn't this kind of like a slippery slope, where once you start, then more categories and more categories will be added, and we'll be on that slippery slope where there will be no law on this individual, and anybody that is propagating this so-called death with dignity, murdering innocent people, they will say, oh, there'll be safeguards. But let's understand what's happened in the world where euthanasia has been legitimized. And I'm going to give you some facts here. And listen, these so-called legal safeguards are nothing but a smokescreen to make way for it, and so that we really won't think too hard about it. Now, I don't really want you to take my opinion for it. At least think about, does the state have a right to kill innocent citizens? And who are they? Who are those innocent citizens? So let's look at some of the euthanasia facts. And how is this really for obscene? Okay, in Holland, in 1984, their Supreme Court, notice, decided that they would no longer prosecute doctors for euthanizing or assisted suicide. And so from 1984 on, the doctors could euthanize people with or without request, and there was no threat of any kind of prosecution. In 1993, a lady applied for assisted suicide to be euthanized because she was depressed, and it was granted. The doctors euthanized her, and it was just called end-of-life decisions, and she has the right to do that, and we will then help her kill herself, and she was innocent. In euthanasia, there's a thing called, I wrote this down, I don't even know if I could pronounce it right, Groningen Protocol. There's a Groningen Protocol. Don't we have lovely words for this stuff? What is this Groningen Protocol in Holland? It basically is a protocol that sets out 4 conditions in which any child under 12 can be euthanized without request. Now stop and think about that. Any child under 12, if it somehow that life fits into one of these 4 categories, can be euthanized whether the child wants to die or not. What does this amount to? In Holland, there are 4,000 cases a year of lethal morphine injection, and that's without request or consent. 4% of all deaths in Holland are involuntary. That averages out to about 6,000 a year. In Belgium, 47.2% of euthanized deaths go unreported. 32% of them are without request or consent. In Oregon, 26% of people who requested assisted suicide did so because they felt depressed and hopeless. Are you getting this? They felt hopeless, and there was no effort whatsoever made to direct them toward medical assistance. And in every one of these cases, when they started out to agree in the state to give assisted suicide, there were safeguards in place. Now, who are the new targets for this? We've already looked after the babies and the early born. Now they're not going to euthanize the strong. Here it is, right under the Humanist Manifesto. The aged, they've given us the list. The infirm, the disadvantaged, the mentally handicapped. This is right in the Humanist Manifesto. These are who we're concerned about. Abused children. Remember the Groningen Protocol? Kids under age 12. Addicts, the seriously ill, the long-term ill, the outcasts. That's their list. Who are the outcasts? The homeless, the street people, and what many would call in history useless eaters. Folks, this country cannot accept euthanasia. And all I can suggest to you is that you get serious about moral values and understand that religious atheism disdains life. It comes with a death agenda. And whatever you think about scriptures, whatever you think about the Bible, whatever you think about our historic values, you understand this: the truth in scriptures and the God of scriptures stands between you alone and those who want to put you down at some point, or put your children down, and they will do it without request and even without consent. Think about these things and let your voice be heard. Thank you.